All right, guys, what is up? I'm gonna do just some stupid fun, just kind of like I did the Metallica versus Megadeth head to head, album by album video. I'm gonna do the same thing with my two favorite bands, Blind Guardian and Iced Earth. So yeah, I'm just gonna hold up two albums and pick my favorite and tally up the score. Simple as that. First, we got Iced Earth's debut versus Blind Guardian's Battalions of Fear. So which one do I think's better out of these? To be perfectly honest, as of late, I think Iced Earth would probably get the win by a hair, just because I like the riffs on here. There's a lot more to this. This album's a bit short. So yeah, I'm gonna give Iced Earth the point. Next, Iced Earth, Night of the Storm Rider, Blind Guardians, Follow the Blind. Okay, this one's kind of tougher. I think this is my favorite Iced Earth album, but this is also a pretty amazing Blind Guardian album in my opinion. It's definitely one of their most unrefined albums, but I love this album. On this note, I'm going to have to go with a tie. I'm seriously going to have to go with a tie. I can't help it. Blind Guardian, even at their most unrefined, is still pretty amazing in my opinion. So that one's, yeah. So those two just cancel each other out. Next, Burnt Offerings versus Tales from the Twilight World. Burnt Offerings I really like musically a lot. Subject matter is a bit dark. I like the subject matter of Tales from the Twilight World a lot more. I'm going to have to go with Tales from the Twilight World. I mean, I just like the vibe of this album better, even though musically they're both pretty equal in my opinion. But Blind Guardian wins that one. Iced Earth, The Dark Saga versus Blind Guardian, Somewhere Far Beyond. Not even a contest. While I like this album, The Dark Saga, it's definitely one of the least ambitious albums by Iced Earth, and this is one of the best sounding Blind Guardian albums in general, musically and production wise. I have to go with Blind Guardian. How about I just drop some CDs? All right. Iced Earth, Something Wicked This Way Comes versus Blind Guardian, Imaginations from the Other Side. Okay, Something Wicked was my first Iced Earth album. I loved it. Listened to it to death, kind of wore it out, but it's a great album. Although this is my favorite Blind Guardian album, and unfortunately I have wore out a lot of the old Blind Guardian stuff, listened to it way too much. I don't listen to it as much as I want to, just to keep the stuff fresh. But out of the two, Imaginations from the Other Side, no doubt. Horror Show, with the stupid sticker I need to take off, versus Nightfall in Middle Earth. Again, no contest. Great album. One of the best albums ever made. So, Blind Guardian for sure. A Glorious Burden versus Night at the Opera. You know, this might end up being a tie. I don't know what to say really. Musically, in a sense, I kind of maybe like the direction this better, but then again, I like this for what it is, though. Like, I like that this one's over the top and ridiculous and has too much going on. I like both for their own reasons. You know what? I'm going to have to put as a tie. Can't help it. Okay. I always count the Something Wicked Part 1 and Part 2 as... we'll see, how many albums do we got left here? Okay, yeah, we'll do it. These two Something Wicked albums versus A Twist in the Myth. Okay, these are both kind of on the lower side of the album, my favorite albums from these two bands. So they kind of are a good battle between these two, but honestly, I get almost no value out of these. I hate to say it because I love Iced Earth and I'm a big fan, but this album, even though when it came out I wasn't super excited about it, is aged well, and I like it a lot more now than I did back then. So Blind Guardian would have to win that one. Dystopia versus At the Edge of Time. Okay, both these albums were kind of a comeback in a sense. A lot of people didn't like A Twist in the Myth. But this kind of came back, brought back what people liked about Blind Guardian a little more. Brought back the speed element and some classic traits that we like about Blind Guardian. Same with this. This came back and tried to sound like a traditional Iced Earth album, which for most part it did. It's got its limitations, but some things I don't like. I'm not big on Stu Block. I don't really like the production, the modern production. I like the way this sounds better for a modern production, honestly. Easily I'm going to have to go with this because I love the singer of Blind Guardian. I like the production better, and I like the music better. So, oh boy. Plagues of Babylon versus Beyond the Red Mirror. This is a pretty good matchup because neither one of these albums are among my favorites in the catalogs of these bands. I think this album is really bland and kind of boring. Plus, I don't like the singer. This album is good. It's a little bland for Blind Guardian, but it's still good. But again, I like the singer a lot better than this singer. Better production, a little worse production. But I hate to say it. Well, I don't really hate to say it, but Beyond the Red Mirror for sure. Because I do like this album quite a bit. This one, I have to skip around and do in doses because I just get bored of it too quick. This one can get a little boring too, but this one I get a lot more out of. Blind Guardian again. Last but not least, the last albums from both bands. Iced Earth Incorruptible, Blind Guardian, The God Machine. Well, still got Stu Block singing on this, not a fan. Music's good. I feel like it's a bit tame for Iced Earth. Like they've totally tamed down a lot. Schaefer's guitar don't sound as beefy as it once did in the 90s. just a lot of things about this that don't excite me. This, however, brought back a lot of things from Blind Guardian that I really missed. The speed, really, that's probably the biggest thing, the speed. I like that I don't know, it's just a lot more direct, kind of like older Blind Guardian used to be, without most of the layers. It's just refreshing. It's nothing they haven't done before. It's just refreshing. Like, that's just all this thing was. I was ready for an album like this. But this didn't really bring anything new. It's my favorite of the Stu blocks, but it didn't really bring anything new. I have to go with Blind Guardian. All right, so there we have it. So how did it fare? Iced Earth got... Dude, Iced Earth got 1. The first Iced Earth album is the only one that actually beat a Blind Guardian album for me. And again, I'm not doing this to rag on Iced Earth or praise Blind Guardian over Iced Earth. This is just... Blind Guardian is my favorite band. I just kind of would think it would be interesting, because I've never, like, thought about this before. Like, you know, there's... You know, I had no... In my mind, I had no direction where this was going to go. So I just kind of did it on the fly, and that's what we ended up with. So Blind Guardian got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Blind Guardian got 8. And there's 2 ties in this thing, so... Wow. Well, there you have it, guys. Blind Guardian versus Iced Earth. I might do some more like this later. If you like this video, like, subscribe. Stay metal. Till next time.